Hey there. I've been thinking about planning a trip to Tanzania, but I'm not sure when the best time to go would be. Any suggestions?
Hi. Tanzania is a fantastic destination with diverse landscapes and wildlife. The best time to go really depends on what you want to experience during your trip.
That makes sense. I've heard about the Great Migration in Serengeti National Park. Is that something I should consider when deciding on the timing?
Absolutely. The Great Migration is one of the most incredible wildlife spectacles in the world. It typically occurs from late June to September, when millions of wildebeest and zebras migrate from the Serengeti to the Masai Mara in Kenya. If witnessing this migration is on your bucket list, then those months are ideal.
That sounds amazing. But what about the rest of the year? Are there any other times that are good for visiting?
Tanzania has something to offer year-round, but it depends on your interests. If you prefer quieter safaris with fewer tourists, the months outside the peak migration season could be better. From January to March, you can witness the calving season in the southern Serengeti, which is another unique wildlife experience.
I see. How's the weather during those months?
During the calving season, the weather is generally pleasant with warm days and cool nights. It's the end of the short rains, so there might be some occasional showers, but it's a lush and green time to visit. Just keep in mind that some roads might be muddy and challenging to navigate.
Good to know. What about the weather in the peak migration season from June to September?
That's the dry season in Tanzania, and it offers some of the best wildlife viewing opportunities. Days are warm, and nights are cooler. There is little to no rain during this period, making it easier to spot animals as they gather around water sources. But keep in mind that it can get quite crowded with tourists, so advanced bookings are essential.
Crowds can be a downside for me, so I'll consider that. Are there any other seasons worth mentioning?
Certainly. The months of October to December mark the start of the short rains. While this might not be the best time for game viewing, it's a great time for bird watching and experiencing Tanzania's lush green landscapes. You can also visit Zanzibar during this time for pleasant beach weather.
Zanzibar sounds tempting. What's the best time to visit the coastal areas like Zanzibar and Dar es Salaam?
The coastal areas of Tanzania, including Zanzibar and Dar es Salaam, have a tropical climate. The best time to visit these areas is during the dry season, which runs from June to October. During this period, you can enjoy the beautiful beaches, clear waters, and water sports without the risk of heavy rainfall.
That sounds like a perfect combination. A safari in the Serengeti followed by some beach time in Zanzibar. Are there any specific events or festivals in Tanzania that I should consider when planning my trip?
Tanzania has a rich cultural heritage, and there are several festivals and events throughout the year that you might find interesting. The Kilimanjaro Marathon in February is a unique sporting event for adventure enthusiasts. If you're into music and culture, the Saudiza Busara Festival in Zanzibar in February is a must-visit. And don't forget about the vibrant Maasai cultural festivals that happen periodically.
Those festivals sound like a great way to immerse myself in Tanzanian culture. Thanks for the recommendations. What about budget considerations? Are there any times when travel might be more affordable?
Generally, the wetter months, especially April and May, are considered the low season in Tanzania. During this period, you can find some great deals on accommodations and safari packages. However, it's essential to be prepared for occasional heavy rain and muddy roads if you choose to travel during this time.
That's good to know. I'll weigh my options and decide whether I prefer budget-friendly travel or the best wildlife viewing conditions. Lastly, any tips for avoiding crowds during the peak season?
To avoid crowds during the peak season, consider visiting less visited parks and reserves in Tanzania, such as Tarangire National Park or Ruaha National Park. These areas offer excellent wildlife sightings without the congestion you might find in Serengeti and Ngorongoro. Additionally, booking your accommodations and safaris well in advance can help you secure less crowded experiences during the peak season.
Thanks so much for all the information. You've been incredibly helpful in planning my trip to Tanzania. I can't wait to experience the wildlife, culture, and beautiful landscapes.
You're very welcome. Tanzania is a remarkable destination with so much to offer. I'm sure you'll have an unforgettable adventure. If you have any more questions as you plan your trip, feel free to reach out. Safe travels!